Because a person who's hungry, this is how they work.
The only reason that I'm successful is I'm faster than everybody else. By the time they have thought about an idea, taken it to a meeting, and started to move.
So I didn't necessarily want the donut. What I wanted intrinsically was that experience.
Deep down on the inside, you might feel like you have the best products and services, but nobody listens to what you have to say. And it's probably because you do not understand the psychology of selling.
Why is it that some people can sell the exact same thing as you and still outsell you 10 to 1? Why do some creators, coaches, or entrepreneurs seem to have people lining up to buy while you can't even get a call back? It's not always your price. It's not even your product. So what is it? The truth is, people don't buy information, services, or just products. They buy belief. Belief that you can help them reach a better outcome faster than they can do it alone. The world of business is a brutal one. Not everyone survives the fallout. And I've come to find that there are 3 key factors affecting buyers' urge to pull out their wallets.
And there's one way to sell anything to anybody. It's the oldest trick in the book, and it's not a trick. It's a way of living your life. Build trust. How do you build trust?
Every sale is built on trust and belief. Being a brand means having a distinction, something that sets you apart from everyone else. You might be under the same niche. You might offer the same product, serving the exact same purpose. So what will a customer focus on? They will focus on aspects like quality and investment. Most buyers want to get a bang for their buck. Who doesn't? Because when someone hands you their money or time, they're really saying, I believe your idea can make my life better. That's the real transaction happening behind the scenes. People will buy for a multitude of reasons. Yes, there will be people who buy out of pure impulse. Maybe they just want it because it will keep them amused for a while. But generally, people like to buy things to improve their quality of life. Think of life as a video game. To survive, you'll need some basic quote-unquote materials to do so. Food, water, shelter, clothing, just some basic stuff. However, once something like the quality of life gets taken into account, a person will want more. In a sense, they'd want to level up to perhaps be stronger, happier, healthier than they were previously. And how could you make a journey much easier for a character? By making purchases, of course. Can't defeat a boss quick enough? You'll pull out your credit card to max your character's stats out. You think their original outfit is getting kind of lame? You'll purchase a new skin for that. You want them to last longer in the meta. Get the hottest new weapon and equipment so they can be up to pace. The same logic applies in life. This is also the same reason why money is such a pain point for so many people. It just controls so much of your progress and comfort. For most, making a purchase from a brand marks the faith they have in it. Sure, you could argue that me buying an air fryer isn't that deep, but I will inevitably take multiple factors into account. Is it the right size for most recipes I do? Does it consume a lot of electricity? Will it actually reduce the amount of oil I end up using in my food? And most importantly, will it still be running like brand new, say 5 years from the moment I purchase it? Because hey, those things aren't cheap, or at least the good ones aren't, which is why I will think carefully before buying one, researching brands and other consumers' reviews beforehand to gauge the best one I could get within my budget. Once that is done and dusted, I'll pick out a brand, a particular model of the said air fryer, and really hope for the best. This is pretty standard behavior for a customer, especially when we're talking about the big purchases like appliances, gadgets, and furniture. These are way too costly for the average person to fumble their choice on, so they will seek out the best brand within their reach to ensure that they are getting their money's worth, that they're able to see the change they want to see. Even if that change is minuscule, a simple convenience can lift a burden off of a person's shoulders, whether it's fitness coaching, a new app, or a brand. People are looking for a bridge between where they are and where they want to be. If your message doesn't clearly show that bridge, if it doesn't prove you understand their pain and have a fast path out, they'll hesitate.
What am I talking about? People only buy improvement. That's it. More specifically, they buy 1 of 10 improvements. What are those 10 improvements? 1, make money. 2, save money. 3, save time. 4, avoid effort. 5, 5, escape mental and physical pain. 6, gain more comfort. 7, achieve greater cleanliness, beauty, or hygiene. 8, gain praise. 9, feel more loved. 10, increase popularity or social status.
Because people aren't just buying what you do, they're buying the reason why it'll change their life. Why spend a lot for something that could make me feel better? Why throw bucks for something that won't upgrade my current state? People want to see a difference. As long as you sell this upgrade, there will be people coming back for it. In today's world, fast is everything. If you can help people solve their problem quickly, you'll always get the sale.
We don't focus on products, we focus on problems.
Why? Because people aren't patient with pain. Nobody wants a slow fix. They want a fast solution that works, which is why shortcuts, templates, and done-for-you offers sell like crazy. If your product or service helps people skip steps, you're both making life simpler and faster. With how quickly we jump from one thing to another, it's no shocker that people want to keep up while eliminating frustrations as they do so. And that speed creates value. You have to take into consideration here that being the first to invent or greatly innovate something puts you at a massive advantage. We don't even have to look far for an example. Chances are the device you're watching on right now is that very example. Apple is hardly a stranger when it comes to talks of modern innovations. They literally revolutionized modern phones by making key improvements on cellular phones' features. The earliest models combined the purpose of iPods, traditional phones, and computers all in one portable, easy to navigate, and most notably, touchscreen device. There are still improvements being made on the latest iOS products, but these first few innovations are the most important ones. They essentially gave Apple their edge early on, setting the tone for competitors. Sure, not all of us can be Steve Jobs. However, it's important to realize that being quick means being early. Being early, as you'd come to find, puts you on the table where the proponents and innovators sit. Of course, you can't just jump in for the sake of being first, but it pays off to be quickly perceptive of what people need. As I've said earlier, people hate dealing with pain. We all want to get over our problems as fast as we can. Being perceptive is a key skill for every entrepreneur. It's important to see what people are dealing with as well as how they wish to deal with it. There's this saying that goes, necessity is the mother of invention. If people were just A-okay with traveling on foot, hauling heavy items from one point to another by just walking, do you think the wheel would get invented? If the dissemination of information was already in top shape all those centuries ago, do you think Gutenberg would still invent the printing press? If we were already content with the basics, do you think we'd still become inventive and resourceful? Point is, because we want to eliminate life's inconveniences, we're always looking for ways to do so. That is precisely why I place so much emphasis on searching for pain points. Heck, some of the problems you see people experience may also be something you go through. If you keep an eye on that and constantly brainstorm, putting together ways to combat the problem, you're bound to innovate. And when you're the one who innovates, that already opens doors to the top of the market. But here's where most people mess up. They make their solution too available. If your offer feels like it'll always be there, people won't move. You gotta make your solution scarce. Not fake limited, but genuinely selective. Maybe you only take a few clients each month. Maybe your program opens just twice a year. Whatever it is, scarcity creates urgency. People act faster when they know they could miss out. That's literally where fear of missing out comes from. When your offer is both fast and rare, that's when people move with conviction. Circling back to my game analogy, let's make it a bit more literal this time. Now, I played quite a few gacha games, so this is something I am well versed at. You will notice that for a lot of these games, they will have something we call banners. These banners offer characters, weapons, or really just any sort of equipment to keep you afloat in the meta. There will be an in-game currency you need to pay so that you can gamble on these banners. Now, even without the gambling aspect, there is still this sense of fear of missing out, being instigated by this neat little time limit. And other games do this too, actually. They will put a time limit on certain events or specific rewards to ensure you come back every day to be just in time for them. Gacha games just so happen to incentivize it a lot. Because in these games, the power creep gets pretty insane. Aside from the time limit, you are also running up against the game's current meta. So assuming you want to defeat your enemies and not the other way around, you're pressured to spend. And what if you don't get enough of these in-game currencies in time? Well, you have no choice but to spend real money to get more. It's no wonder why a good chunk of these games earn millions in revenue every month. It's not even just gacha games, no. Want to know the prime example of the whole scarcity sales mindset? Luxury brands. Now, for some of us, the concept of luxury brands can feel weird. I mean, why the hell would I want to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for a bag? Surely there are cheaper but still good quality alternatives out there, right? But the real thing these luxury brands sell is their exclusivity. Do you think they just sell their products willy-nilly? They don't. Take Hermes as an example. Even if you have the money, you can't just buy their famed Birkin bag so easily. Instead, they have a system in place wherein you have to buy their smaller scale products first, building up towards the big shot items before you can get your hands on their ultra exclusive and sometimes even personalized offers, such as the Birkin. A lot of other luxury brands have something similar going on in their stores.
Right. Yes, there are a lot more people that may desire Rolex, but what Rolex has also done is that they've limited their supply. So the second they put product on the market, it's gone.
Because for brands like that, exclusivity.
Think of it as a more complicated membership subscription. Show loyalty to the brand first, and only then will you get the oh-so-blinding privilege of getting access to their scarcer, undeniably more expensive wares. Let's not deny it, we all like feeling special every now and then. By being exclusive with your offers, you're basically handing customers some form of status symbol, showing that they got their hands on your product early enough before it sells out. It creates this sense of belonging and uniqueness at the same time, making them think along the lines of, I have this product, so I'm in on the club. We've covered the trifecta. Now, this is something else worth pointing out again and again. You have to deliver your core message correctly if you want your target market to perceive you as a trusted brand. That means there is little room for misinterpretations of any sort. Even if you have no ill intentions, the wrong usage of words can easily set you up for failure. Think of Sydney Sweeney's jeans ad with American Eagle. Public reaction was very much divided when the ad was released, and I'd argue it still is, even now. Some people treated the Sydney Sweeney has great jeans quote as a simple, cheeky denim campaign, but a vocal group criticized the wordplay on jeans as tone deaf. People found some white supremacist undertones in the message. And while it got the brand publicity, it still was in hot water for quite a while upon release.
Over the Grand Canyon, right? Making the Statue of Liberty disappear, vanish.
Now compare this to Cat's Eyes Jeans ad with Gap. It was released just in time while people were heated over Sydney Sweeney's ad, showing a diverse range of women from different cultures, as these are members of a global girl group. While there are no direct quotes from the ad itself, the messaging struck clear to the public. The ad visibly showed inclusivity, something very much valued, especially by the youth today, leveraged 90s nostalgia with the song choice, and showed that the jeans themselves were good quality, seeing as everyone was able to dance perfectly well in them. The whole ad was more show, not tell. Yet this delivered the message more effectively to the modern audience, thus making people more curious and invested in Gap as a brand. On the more vintage end, I'd say it's also worth looking into what drove Oreo to bigger success compared to its predecessor, Hydrox. For those who don't know, Hydrox was the cream-filled cookie that came before Oreo. Yet today, 100 years later, we only see Oreo on our grocery shelves. Why? Well, as always, it boiled down to good old marketing. Look, for those of you who weren't aware of what Hydrox was a couple of seconds ago, there's a good chance you thought it was some kind of chemical cleaning agent. Honestly, I can't even blame you. From the name itself, Oreo felt more cookie, if that makes sense. Not to mention that Oreo greatly leveraged branding, even if you aren't fond of them. You definitely know the whole twist, lick, dunk method Oreo has promoted as the best way to eat their cookies. Details like this add character to products. Carefully marketing your brand and offers for what they really are and what they actually do is crucial. That's why brands also like to occasionally test new things out publicly. It gauges customer reactions, predicting the next best moves to solidify the next big sales. Always keep your message in mind when you're selling, because if customers don't understand what you're trying to portray, they won't bother to listen to another pitch the next time around. At the end of the day, people don't buy what you sell. They buy what they believe will get them the outcome they want. They buy what actually sticks with them. So stop trying to convince and start transferring belief. Show them you understand their struggle, that your solution works fast, and that it won't be available forever. That's when the sale happens naturally. Remember, never because you forced it, but because you built upon people's trust and actually delivered, reminding you people don't buy products, they buy progress. See you in the next one. This is Current Champ. Peace.
And I'ma just do me. A new thing hold me down on 2 feet. That's 10 toes, bust 4, 5, and 6 foes. Need 2, 6, 4, 0 eyes and a 6 4.